Welcome to The Big Idea. I'm your host, Faith Lark. Today, on The Big Idea, imagine discovering that the very thing you thought defined you, your intellect, your success, was actually a gilded cage. Today, we explore how one man's insatiable hunger for something more led him to abandon everything, only to find that the greatest lessons come not from the mind, but from the heart, and you'll be shocked by the transformation that awaits him in the chaotic streets of India. The mind can be the most sophisticated prison ever built. In 1963, at the height of his Harvard career, Richard Alpert stood before a packed lecture hall, his voice carrying the weight of academic authority. Cigarette smoke curled through shafts of afternoon light as he expounded on consciousness and human potential. But something in his eyes betrayed an inner turbulence. His hands, usually steady while gesturing to emphasize key points, showed the slightest tremor. Mid-sentence, he stopped. The silence stretched uncomfortably as hundreds of students waited. He walked off stage, leaving a wake of confused murmurs and shuffling papers. You might wonder why a man at the pinnacle of academic success would risk everything he'd built. The answer lies not in what he was running from, but in what he was running toward. On paper, Richard Alpert had it all. The son of a wealthy Boston family, he'd earned his doctorate from Stanford and secured a coveted position at Harvard. His research into human consciousness alongside Timothy Leary was groundbreaking. Yet each achievement felt like another link in a golden chain, binding him to expectations that suffocated his deepest questions about existence. You know that feeling, the one where external success masks an internal void, where every accomplishment only amplifies the whisper asking, "Is this all there is?" Picture young Richard in his family's vast library. While other children played outside, he sat surrounded by leather-bound volumes, staring through leaded glass windows at a world that seemed just out of reach. The mahogany shelves towered with knowledge, but something essential remained elusive. During formal dinner parties, while proper Boston society discussed politics and social standings, Richard's mind wandered to questions none of them seemed to ask. What lies beyond all this? What gives life true meaning? His initial experiments with psychedelics weren't mere rebellion. They represented a desperate attempt to peek behind reality's curtain. When Harvard discovered these unauthorized explorations, the institution that had once celebrated his brilliance now branded him dangerous. The dismissal from his position wasn't just a professional setback. It was the shattering of an identity built on intellectual achievement and social status. In 1967, Alpert found himself in India, as far from Harvard's manicured lawns as one could get. The streets of Delhi assaulted his senses, incense mixing with curry spices, temple bells competing with street vendors' calls, holy cows ambling past modern cars. Here, his Harvard credentials meant nothing. His sophisticated theories about consciousness dissolved in the face of simple sadhus who emanated a peace he'd never found in books. Then came the meeting that would transform everything. In the foothills of the Himalayas, he encountered Neem Karoli Baba, a Hindu guru wrapped in a simple blanket. The man seemed to read Alpert's entire life story in a glance. When Alpert tried to impress him with intellectual questions, the guru responded with a love so direct and overwhelming that it bypassed Alpert's mind entirely and struck straight to his heart. If you're enjoying The Big Idea, please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code for our free 7-day email course, Mental Models Mastery. Learn to make better decisions and think like Einstein, Da Vinci, and Socrates. Now back to the episode. In that moment, Richard Alpert died. In his place, Ram Dass, servant of God, was born. The transformation wasn't just symbolic. Those who knew him witnessed a profound shift from restless intellectual to someone who embodied genuine peace. His new name became both identity and mission, to serve others by sharing what he discovered about consciousness and love. Returning to America in 1969, Ram Dass faced immediate skepticism. Former colleagues dismissed his transformation as a psychedelic-induced delusion. The academic world that had once embraced him now treated him as a cautionary tale. But something unexpected happened. His authenticity and direct way of translating Eastern wisdom for Western minds struck a chord with thousands seeking deeper meaning in their lives. His book, Be Here Now, became a spiritual touchstone, selling over 2 million copies. Yet success brought its own challenges. Critics accused him of commercializing Eastern philosophy. Some called him a pop guru, missing the profound simplicity of his message. Presence and love are not abstract concepts, but practical tools for transformation. In 1997, Ram Dass faced his greatest challenge when a devastating stroke left him partially paralyzed. The man who had taught others about presence and acceptance now had to apply these teachings in the crucible of personal tragedy. In his hospital room, surrounded by beeping machines instead of meditation bells, he asked himself, "Where were you when I had this stroke?" The question was directed at his guru, at God, at the universe itself. The answer came not in words but in a profound realization. This too was part of the path. His physical limitations became a powerful teacher about impermanence and the true nature of identity. Even with slurred speech and limited mobility, Ram Dass continued teaching. His vulnerability became his strength. Students witnessed someone who didn't just talk about acceptance and presence, he lived these principles through profound physical challenges. Through the Seva Foundation, which he helped establish, his work extended to humanitarian projects worldwide, proving that spiritual awakening naturally flows into service to others. Remember that enigmatic ending to his Harvard lecture. "This is just the beginning, not the end." Those words proved prophetic in ways young Richard Alpert could never have imagined. His journey from brilliant academic to psychedelic researcher, to spiritual teacher to wounded healer, traces an arc of continuous transformation. But here's the real question for you. What prison of the mind are you living in? What golden handcuffs keep you bound to an identity that's become too small? Ram Dass's legacy isn't about abandoning your life for ashrams in India. It's about recognizing that your greatest limitations might be the very beliefs you hold most dear about who you are and what's possible. In your own journey toward authenticity and purpose, remember that the path isn't about reaching some final destination. It's about being present for each step, serving others along the way, and finding the courage to let go of who you think you should be to discover who you truly are. The mind that once sought answers in Harvard's halls found its peace in surrender to something greater. Ram Dass's journey challenges you to examine your own path. Are you willing to risk everything you think you know to discover what you truly seek? The beginning, after all, is not the end. It never was. On the next episode of The Big Idea, the conversation with Baba Ram Dass leaves us pondering. How do we truly embrace impermanence and find peace amidst life's storms? What if I told you that the journey of a Harvard professor, once steeped in the heady world of academia and psychedelics, holds a key? He discovered something that will help you bridge the gap between the mind and the spirit. Next week, we delve deeper into this extraordinary transformation, exploring how one man's quest for enlightenment led him to integrate Eastern wisdom with Western psychology, and eventually teach the world how to be here now. Prepare to have your perceptions challenged and your heart opened as we uncover the profound lessons of resilience, acceptance, and the interconnectedness of all things. Please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code or follow the pinned link to get our free 7-day email course, Mental Models Mastery. 7 mental models used by humanity's greatest minds. Think clearer, decide faster, and spot opportunities everyone misses. Click the video that just popped up to watch the next one in this series. Or for episode summaries, behind-the-scenes info, and more, go to daily8.com/bi. Thanks for watching.